And Skeleton Santa, I want for Christmas a black soul gem with a grand soul already in it. Hedge, tubophiles. Today we're gonna learn something about enchanting. Let's touch on the basics first before getting into the really interesting stuff. So, this character, just to show you the full range of enchanting, has enchanting level 100 and has a number of important perks in enchanting. First of all, 5 out of 5 in Enchanter. This increases the power of all of your enchantments. Insightful Enchanter makes skill enchantments 25% stronger. Corpus Enchanter makes health, magic, and stamina enchants 25% stronger. And then the Extro Effect, which is the final perk in the tree, allows you to put 2 enchantments on the same item. With just those basic perks and the 100 skill, you can achieve some pretty powerful enchantments. Not as powerful as possible, but some pretty good ones. You can improve magic, any school, by 25%, and then you can improve things like archery and one-handed by even more, by up to 40%. This is without any potions. I haven't drank any Fortify Enchanting or any Fortify Restoration, which we'll get into here in just a second. But you'll see the combat fortification skill enchantments are about 40%, and then the magic ones are 25%, and you can do that with just vanilla enchanting. So before we get into, again, the real interesting stuff, I put this video off for a little while because this character does not quite have all of the enchantments, but he does have most of them. I'm missing literally 7 enchantments, so I can't show you those 7. However, here's the list of all the others. I'm not going to go through the whole list and explain each. Note there are some interesting ones like hybrid restoration with magic regen, and you'll note that the restoration of those hybrid ones comes out to quite a bit less. Hold on, let me switch this just so I can show. I think they both go on a necklace. No, I think they both go on a headpiece. No, oh boy, what did they both go on? I do not recall now. Here we go. They both go on a chest piece, potentially. You'll note that for these hybrid enchants, you see that it's what's mentioned right after this restoration right here. So the Fortify Restoration will give you up to 25%. The hybrid restoration and magic regen actually gives you 10% less to restoration, but then also gives you 10% magic regeneration. These can be pretty handy. You can put any one enchantment on up to 4 pieces of your gear, and I'm going to detail some more about that in just a second. But to continue making this point, you don't, especially once you start enchanting above this 25% level, you don't necessarily want to use 4 Fortify Restorations, because you're going to go over 100% and you're essentially not using some of your itemization there. So do 3 of these to get you up to like the 80-ish% range, 75-80%, and then slap 1 of these on some other piece of gear, just to put you really close to that 100, to where your spells are basically free. They're like 5 to 10 magicka, and then you still have some faster magic regeneration. I think that's a slightly better itemization than just using 4 Fortify Restorations. Alright, so before we get into the specifics of pieces of gear or how to get your enchantments even better, let's look at cost. So I've got a couple iron daggers here. Note that smithing isn't real simple anymore. You can't just spam out iron daggers, so the example here may not be so pertinent, but it applies to anything else. As you level up your enchanting, one of the best things to do to level it up and to get money while you're at it is to keep every ring and every necklace and petty small weight stuff like iron daggers and just any small thing that you can enchant, keep it all and slap it in a chest somewhere. Then when you're ready to go grind out a bit of enchanting, come in here and use your smallest gems. Notice I've got some lesser, I've got some petty, I've got some common. Use your smallest gems on putting enchantments on these items. Now, as far as cost goes, whenever you first choose an enchant, you'll see that the value of the item goes up. So if I choose another enchant, the value of the item will go up further. So to take those back off, just the dagger I think is, what, valued 10? So adding a banish enchant right off the bat gives me like 632 extra gold. Now that's assuming this cost before you choose a soul gem. It assumes that you're going to use the most powerful soul gem. So you'll see things like when you choose a petty, it actually turns out to be like 1312. You get like 1302 extra gold on it. Still, it increases it a very, very large amount. So the enchantments that are the most valuable, I believe, are Banish and Paralyze. If I were to go through a couple of these, 192, yeah, see, Fear does not add much. 312. Actually, I did that a little bit wrong. I need to add one at a time. 192 for Fear, 136 for Fire, 160 for Frost, 184 for Magicka. Oh, but Banish, 1312. Banish is just really valuable for some reason. Even Paralyze, it's not anything near Banish, but it's pretty far up there. So Banish is one of those enchants that when you see it on a weapon, even if you're like, I don't really care to banish Frost Atronox and Dremora and all that stuff, they don't really bother me, I just like to fight them. Don't throw that away. Don't throw that item away. Make sure you come disenchant it, because Banish is one of your most valuable enchants, purely from the perspective of enchanting an item and selling it. So as you level enchanting, getting this enchant and slapping it on weapons is one surefire way to get a boatload of money. And then to take a look at the non-weapon enchants, I believe Archery and One-Handed are the two most valuable. So Archery is 96, One-Handed I think blows that out of the water. 98, doesn't really blow it out of the water, but it's more valuable. And actually, now that I say that, Sneak. Yeah, looking at some of these others. It looks like Two-Handed and One-Handed are the same. Sneak is actually on another level. It's actually above Two-Handed and One-Handed, so never mind Archery. You want to be doing some sneaking. So if you're not enchanting Iron Daggers, if you're enchanting, Water Breathing is really valuable too. So Water Breathing and Sneak would probably make the best possible combination. When you're enchanting things that are not weapons, and you're enchanting just to level up, you should use Sneak more than any other enchantment, just because it'll make your item the most valuable and in turn give you the most gold. In keeping with the theme of leveling up enchanting and how to do it most abusively, you can level up off disenchanting items, and the amount of skill up you get is somewhat dependent on both the type of enchant and the power of the enchant. So just to give a generic example, if you have two different circlets that increase your alchemy, which makes your created potions more powerful, the one that gives you 30% more power will give you a higher skill up than the one that gives you 20% more power. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have two of the same item that give the same enchant and one's more powerful, you should disenchant the more powerful one if you're purely looking at skilling up. Note that you can only disenchant items with a certain effect one time, so if you do find yourself in that situation where you've got two different improvements for alchemy, you can only disenchant one of them to get the skill ups. So disenchanting, I would say, is the first way you should try to level up. However, note that since you can only do each effect once, it's only going to get you so far. So you will eventually have to move over to actually performing the enchants. Recharging items using soul gems also gives you a very, very small amount of skill. However, I've said many times before, and I will say it again, recharging items should not be done. You should avoid using, or I should say you should avoid depending on enchanted items until you have your enchanting at level 100, because overall it's a waste of a soul gem. Any soul gem you use to recharge an item will give you less skill up than using that same soul gem to instead enchant a new item. And enchanting items will also get you a crap ton of gold, so just stick to the enchantments that give you the most gold, and then just use up your soul gems, I would say, from the bottom up. I would say use your small ones first, your petty, your lesser, your common. Save some grand. The rule of thumb I've used is always save about 8 to 10 grand, because at any point in time, once I got my enchanting to a higher level, I would want to go through and re-enchant all my gear. And that especially goes for when you get it maxed, for when you get enchanting maxed, as well as with alchemy and smithing, because there starts to become some synergy between the three. And the last note for leveling enchanting very quickly is go get the Mage Stone. Make sure the Mage Stone is on you. That speeds up your level ups. Why would you not do that? Certain enchantments can only be applied to certain items. So as far as your magic enchants go, This includes fortifications 2, alteration, conjuration, destruction, etc. All of your magic schools. They can only be applied to head, chest, ring, and neck pieces. I guess I should probably preface this whole little bit by the rings and the necklaces can have enchants applied to them for everything except for Fortify Speech, which your necklace still can, just your rings can't. Fortify Stamina regenerate, Fortify Magicka regenerate. Rings can have both of those, necklaces cannot. Muffle cannot be applied to rings and necklaces, Muffle can only be applied to feet. Everything else can be applied to your rings and necklaces. All of your spell schools, improvements for those can also be applied to head and chest pieces. And then just to randomly strike out at a few others, Fortify Carry Weight can only be applied to items of your hands and your feet. The Fortify Armor ratings can only be applied to items of your chest and your hands. The Fortify Archery can only be applied to head, hands, ring and necklace, of course. I'm going to stop repeating ring and necklace because you guys already know that that applies to about everything. One-handed can only be applied to your hands and your feet. I think two-handed is the same. Yep, hands and feet. Your resist magics, resist fire and frost, can be applied to your feet, to your shield, and then of course ring and necklace. Resist magicka can be applied to only your shield, ring and necklace. Poison can be applied to your chest, shield, ring and necklace. And then shock is just like fire and frost. I'm sorry I didn't mention it before. Feet, shield, ring, and necklace. So this restricts exactly what types of enchants can go where. These hybrids can only be applied to a chest piece. So whenever you're, say, making your gear, I'm on my archer right now, but let's pretend that I was going to be making my gear for the mage. And actually I don't have ring and necklace, so I can't perfectly pretend. You would want to do things like, let's say destruction is your main one, just like my mage. You'd want to put destruction and some other one, let me just strike out a restoration here, on your headpiece, and then you'd want to put something like destruction and probably destruction and magicka regen on your chest piece, and then also destruction on one of your rings, and then mix-match everything else, your necklace and the other slot on your head, and I guess both slots on your necklace and the other slot on your ring. That would get you 3 iterations of destruction, like I was saying earlier with the whole restoration and the hybrid thing, and then also 1 iteration of the hybrid destruction and magicka. Some interesting information. I'm going to get into small bits first, and then we're going to build to the really useful stuff. So, any kind of fire damage enchantments are affected by the Fortify skill enchantments of the same school of magic. For example, your fire damage enchants, which you can cause to take a varied amount of charge from your charged weapon, are affected by destruction improvement skill enchants. So if you put a 25% improvement to your destruction on your chest, and then you put a fire damage enchant on your weapon, the amount of charge that striking with that fire damage enchant takes will be lesser because of the destruction enchant. When enchanting armor that you have improved, and I actually haven't set an example of this up, so naughty on my part. Pretend these leather bracers were improved, though. If you've already went to a workbench for armor and improved it, whenever you go to enchant it, it will look as though it's going to take that improvement off. It will look as though it's going to take the armor down, but note that it will in fact remain improved so long as you have that smithing perk that allows you to improve enchanted items. You cannot place an enchantment over another enchantment. If you wish to have 2 enchantments on an item, you must place them both on it at the same time. So if I were to make one of these bracers improve my alchemy and actually do the enchant, then I could not come back in later and put Fortify Block in. However, if I wanted both of these on it, I could do them at the same time. This means that you cannot further enchant items that are already enchanted. And right alongside that note, when dual enchanting, it still only takes 1 soul gem, and both enchants are just as powerful as they would be alone. So it does not require 2 soul gems, and it does not split the power of your enchant, which is awesome! And the soul gem's destroyed unless, of course, it is the Black Star or Azura's Star. while I'm here, note that the drop glitch for soul gems, you used to be able to drop a soul gem and remove the soul from it. I literally just now tried that. They must have patched it. It doesn't work anymore. You can't remove soul gems or souls from soul gems. So if you mistakenly have only grand empty soul gems on yourself and you soul trap a petty creature, you're going to put a petty soul in that grand soul gem and you're going to be stuck with it. So be very, very careful of that. You can no longer just drop the grand soul gem and have the soul wiped out and be able to reuse it. That has been patched. I think that concludes all of the small bits. I think we're ready to get into the really interesting stuff. Okay, so with enchanting and alchemy, you can do a number of really neat things. So there are two different potions here that alchemy can make that will benefit enchanting one way or another. So of course there's the fortify enchanting potions, and you see this character, I don't have good alchemy. I'm going to jump on my archer in just a second so I can show you the very top level of how well you can abuse this concept I'm getting ready to describe. But you can make fortify enchanting potions, and you can also make fortify restoration potions. Now, the restoration potions will affect any skill enchantments. Skill enchantments are technically spells of the restoration school. So things like improved alchemy on your gear, which I have a couple real lesser things. Smithing as well. Smithing are considered restoration spells. Things like these gauntlets that increase my alchemy by 22%. Whenever I drink a fortify restoration potion, it will exponentially increase this. It will make the created potions way more than just 22% more powerful. It will add the effects of the restoration improvement with those alchemy improvement effects. So to take a couple looks at some of that, I've jumped onto my archer, Dharma. Dharma has 100 in enchanting with all of the perks that I just showed you. However, she also has 100 in alchemy, and ignore a lot of the perks I have here. I have a lot of unnecessary perks. The only perks that affect this concept are Alchemist, which you need 5 out of 5 of in, and Benefactor, which gives any potions with a beneficial effect 25% greater magnitude. Now, to get to Benefactor, you'll have to get Physician. However, Physician does not directly impact this. It only affects health, stamina, and magical potions. Alright, and then we're going to assume that you have already created a full set of alchemy improvement gear. So what I have right here is, ignore that there are 2 effects. I did this just for my own convenience, but pretend that these are just going to improve my alchemy. And for all intents and purposes, you can pretend that they're 25% as well. That's a small number. The bigger part of this you'll see in effect here in just a second. So we're going to equip our alchemy gear. Now I should have roughly 100% improved alchemy because of this set of gear. Let's take a look at how powerful a potion I can make, and then we're going to do something else and take a look at how much the power has grown. So I can come in here and I can make a fortify enchanting potion of 30 to 31% strength. If you haven't done any of this stacking at all yet, this will be a 30%. However, since all of these skill enchants on my alchemy gear are affected by restoration, when I come in here and drink a fortify restoration potion, which I have one for 122%, that's a pretty big number. I'm going to drink the potion. I'm going to make sure the effect hits me. I'm going to unequip and then re-equip all of my gear. And now these potions will be redonkulous. 51%. I just added 20% just there. And to stack this even further, once you have this effect on yourself, you can go make the restoration potions. 455%. Yeah, let's make a couple of those. And you guys can already see how this is going to get real ridiculous really fast. Now I've got fortify restoration potions that increase my restoration spells by 455%. Let's do it again, shall we? Okay, so first step is to drink the potion. 455% stronger. The second step is to unequip and re-equip all of the improvement gear. This ensures that it reapplies the effect. And then the third step make the potions. So now our enchanting is up at something absurd like 106%. Craziness, craziness. And our restoration is at 2,000 something. Okay, so there. I'm just gonna do one just because I don't really need to make a whole bunch of them right now. I don't want to make a bunch of ingredients. I'll probably do this off camera myself just to make sure I get everything right about it later. So now I have a Fortify Restoration Potion that gives me 238% stronger restoration spells. And all of this apparel has improvements that counts as restoration spells. So this works for smithing as well, and you guys can already see where I'm going, I'm sure. Wow, it says some crazy stuff. It says creative potions 155% more powerful. It says weapons and armor can be improved 138% better. You can put on this smithing gear, which most of this stuff has an improvement to smithing as well as alchemy, and then drink one of those potions, or I should say drink the potion then put the gear on. And you can go do some things like, I don't know, get a Daedric bow with 146 damage. That might look misleading, but it's because I'm not wearing any of my bow stuff. So I've done a couple things that make this absolutely absurd. Let me put on my other gear. You guys should be somewhat familiar with this character, with my archer, because I've used her quite extensively. And this is something you've never seen. Ba-bam! Look at that damage down at the bottom. That does indeed say 1,359 damage. Yeah. Yep. That's a fact. Alright, so I want to go give you an example of doing that with smithing real fast, just because I kind of tie all this into enchanting. But I want to look at one other thing first. So, to get these 3 different potions, which are the ones that you can use with these 3 different parent skills to really stack the abuse on, the alchemy reagents you'll need, and this is also in my alchemy video, but I figured might as well put it here just so it's easy for you guys to get to. Blue butterfly wings, high-graven claws, snowberries, and spriggan sap will give you better enchanting. Abesian longfin, ceridolic spadetail, salt piles, small antlers, and small pearls will give you restoration. Blisterwort, glowing mushroom, saber cat tooths, and spriggan sap will give you better smithing. So definitely keep all those. I would say keep all the ingredients you ever have and slap them in a chest. But whenever you're going to go do some of this grinding out to really optimize and become as elite as possible, these are the groupings of items that you should pick up. Let us go drink one of these, this 2,000 I think. Let's go drink this 2,000% restoration potion and improve my bow again. Alright, so I have 2 different bows here. I have a Daedric bow that has been improved some. I think I can improve it further though, because I didn't stack quite as far as I just now did when I first verified that this concept works. I've also got a glass bow. This is totally vanilla, and actually that value is misleading. Let me come remove all of my bow damage enchant gear so that we're looking at totally flat values here. Okay, so glass bows, based only on the improvements of my skills, having 100 archery and all the archery perks. Glass bows do 99 damage. We're going to see how far we can improve that. We're also going to see if I can improve even further the Daedric bow that I've already improved, that's now doing 146 damage. So again, our first step is going to be to come in here. We have this crazy high, and you see now that the value went down. It's not quite 2,000%. That's because of another absurd little glitch in that these Fortify Restoration Potions stack with each other. Yeah, really. Alright, so let's drink the 423%, and then let's go put on all of our smith improvement stuff. That one actually doesn't affect smithing, but all of these do. And then let's improve. So here's a glass bow. We're going to take it from 99 to 194. Do it. Daedric bow, 146. We can take it up to 206. Do it. And then let's switch back over, and you guys can tell the gear that I've been putting back on for my bow. I haven't even done this with my own gear yet. This is a huge number, this 183, only because I have the effects of that restoration potion on right now. That'll jump back down to 35. My ring is like 40 something, but I still need to even go do this myself for all of my own gear. I'm still using the gauntlets of the old gods, which have like a 20% bow damage increase on them. So now I've gotten my bow up to like oh Jesus, like almost 2,000 damage. Of course, that's because of the effects of this restoration potion, so if I were to wait an hour and let the potion's effects wear off, you see it's still pretty high. Actually, it's still 1806. That's absurd. And with this glass bow, even I could have like 1,700 damage. So there you go. There are some examples of stacking enchanting with some of your other effects. Being able to put enchantments on gear allows you to use some potions that just get absurd fast. Being able to abuse these things to the point at which I'm getting ready to, you can pretty much use any weapons, any armor that you want in the game, and then improve them to astronomical levels that basically make everything else not matter. So I'm going to acquire a random mix of just some different armor. I've already acquired an ebony bow. I think I'm going to use it instead of this Daedric one, just for funsies. So, I've got a grouping of armor now that I think I want to abuse very, very thoroughly. Let us see how abuseful we can be. Alright, so I don't have a Fortify Restoration Potion on right now. So this is that seriously 1 million? No, that's 146,000% stronger. So we're going to drink that. Again, equip all of our gear. And let's see how ridiculous we can make all of this glass stuff I just picked up. So just those gloves now puts me over armor cap. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other bits too. Okay, I think that. And while I've got it on me still, let me see if I can get one more iteration. On the bow, sure enough,
you met my father.
Got it even further.
He's a steward of the
actually, let's do it on this ebony bow that turns out to be about the same. And on that dagger that I think just jumped to like 1,000 damage. Oh, this is almost silly. I'm glad I didn't really do this earlier, because this feels really abusive. This is going to make the game quite a bit less fun moving on in the future. Okay, so now let's put on my pieces of gear. I now have 67,000 armor rating. Note that caps at, I don't remember the exact number, I think it's like 538. So it's pretty obvious you could get the most base, like leather gauntlets alone to give you armor cap. So you can use whatever gear you like. Now I'm going to go do the next interesting bit, and I'm going to put the strongest enchants I can on all of this stuff. I think, including this brand new bow that I just picked up. I'm going to start using an ebony bow. With this degree of stacking, you can see they're doing the same damage anyway, and I'm actually doing like 22,000 damage. That's nuts. I don't know, I just picked an ebony one because I couldn't find any more Daedric ones, and they're roughly the same when you're doing all this shenaniganery. So, I'm going to go do some enchanting. Yeah. Last time I was making potions, I made some absolutely ridiculous Fortify Enchanting potions, 36,000% stronger. So I'm going to use those. I'm going to name all my equipment real generically just so it'll be together, and so I don't spend a whole lot of time typing in names, although I do want it to all be right next to each other, so I will be naming it. So let's get underway. Now, when using enchanting, you don't have to do the gear thing because none of my gear actually affects enchanting. You can't put enchant, fortify, enchants on gear. So
divine smile on you.
Let's see what kind of crazy high values I can apply to some of this. Let's start with my gear. Let's go helmet. Let's go, I'm thinking archery and stamina. I cannot do stamina, can I? Oh no. I can't do a lot of things then, huh? Let's go magicka, sure, why not? No, let's go restoration. Making those super cheap would be kind of nice. Let's rename it Archery 1. Craft it! Wow, that is a lot of extra bow damage. Next, glass armor. Hopefully I can get this done quick enough. Archery does not go on armor, so let's do a ridiculous amount of health and stamina. That sounds alright. Probably not totally optimal, but and actually those don't look like they are being affected by this potion. Let me just back out, and I want to see, did it wear off already? Nope, it is still on. No, no, hold on. That is not the right one. I think it did wear off before I made that chest piece. Okay, that's okay though. These potions don't last very long, so you generally have to make quite a few. Yeah, 30 seconds, that's a really short time frame. Let's do the gauntlets next. Glass gauntlets, elven gauntlets is what I picked. Archery, carry weight probably. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be carry weight. I could go sneak, I don't really need the sneak though, my sneak is pretty absurd. Archery, what did I already do? 2, that's 3. Can I get a second one? I would like to get a ring. I'm probably taking too long here. Archery and stamina. Archery 4, why not? 40%, hold on, I should not have hit that. So these potions are actually wearing off really quickly. Time continues to tick the whole time you're in this little thing. The whole time you're sitting here enchanting. So you're probably better off just not even renaming items, because that's an extra step that takes you a little bit longer. And then just because I'm choosing 2 effects, it's taken me extra long there as well. I'm going to continue to though, because I am stubborn. 4.1. Alright. That's some of my stuff. You get the picture. I'm going to have to go do another round of potions to continue doing all of my gear. I don't think I'm going to have all of that on camera. However, let's see, 4 and 4.1. I want the 4.1. Jesus Christ, those are crazy numbers. What the fruit barbecue. Okay, so yeah, I still have a couple things to slap on a couple pieces. But let's... Look at my carry weight. What? Okay, I'm getting the giggles because this is just too silly. Let's just go kill something. I'm gonna stop doing this iteration stuff. Let's go put a single arrow in something and watch it explode. I don't think I'm even going to attempt to sneak. It doesn't even matter. I wish I could get both these dragons to come over here. That doesn't look like an especially powerful dragon. However, I get the feeling I'm gonna one-shot whatever dragon it is regardless. So let's see here. Oh, and to recap, let me actually make sure, because I was playing my Aragonian sometime recently. Yeah, I am still on Master. To recap though, I don't have any mods installed yet. I haven't used any console commands. Everything you guys have seen me do with Enchanting, while I want to call it at least an exploit, it's not technically any kind of cheat or, I don't know. It's like a glitch. It's not really anything I've done. Look, this dragon's afraid. He even knows. I'm just going to see if I can hit him. I'm not going to be able to hit him while he's running diagonal. Maybe when he does a turn. He's going to run back behind the temple again, out of sight. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. Alright, oh, sure enough, right as I start to lead, he goes the other direction. Come here, dragon. You and I have a date with destiny. And your soul is destined to be mine. I think he actually ran away. He flew around in the sky screaming for a while. And he was like, yeah, you know what? I saw him draw that bow. It looks like he wants to aim it at me. I don't want to have anything to do with that. Turns out these dragons might be a little bit smarter than they let on. And I genuinely don't know where he went. However, I could send a little one-shot down that way. That would be kind of fun, right? It's not going to get him. Or did it? No, it didn't. I think that'll get him though. Maybe? Maybe? No, just below him. And they're running off now. I'm not going to be able to hit them from this range while they're moving. Well, crap. It looks like I need to hunt another dragon. Maybe one a little less terrified of my elite bow skills. Shadowmere. I thought I had lost Shadowmere. He's down there though. I don't think I'm ever going to hit from this crazy distance, especially not with him juking around. If I accidentally hit Shadowmere too, he's probably instantly dead. I'm not anywhere near Shadowmere though. I'm gonna still try. I don't know why I'm even still trying this. I'm way too far away from these suckers. Let me get closer. Let me get closer. How? How? By falling. Once I get down here, we'll do some surefire one-shots. You guys are attacking my horse. I thought I had lost that horse so long ago, it's not even funny. I thought he died.
I cannot fast you.
No, you can't. You saw how quickly I killed your brother. Stick! That's right, this arrow hurts so bad that even if it hits y'all elbow, you will die instantly. Especially if it hits your right boobie. You cannot survive a boobie shot from this bow. Alright, these guys are not, it's not incredibly surprising that I can one-shot them. I could probably even do that without doing this crazy enchanting exploitery. But I want a dragon. Now normally there is a dragon that attacks here, like right when you come around up here. But since I killed that dragon in the past, I don't think he'll be popping out now. Yep, one shots for all. I'm not even drawing the bow back all the way. Okay, I'm gonna finish these guys off, and then I have got to find a dragon. One shot for a Hograven? Certainly. One shots for a bear? Certainly. Oh no, Shadowmere. Oh god. Now. Okay. Yeah, I definitely need to load a save. I just saw a dragon. If I get close enough to him, I'm gonna dragon rend him just so he is forced to feel the wrath of my one shot. I think he just landed though. I think I can get him. A second. Oh, he's like a blood dragon or something. That's no fun. Dragon's Bane arrow. The Forsworn, they're running away because they don't want none. Looks like that's a dragon I technically killed in the past too, because I'm not getting... Okay, here it goes. I was getting ready to say I'm not getting the soul from him. Sometimes you don't. I've had dragon kills that did not reward a soul. Which seems a little odd to me. As if they can be reincarnated without a soul. As if I still have it. That seems odd. Okay, can I find a stronger dragon? Honestly, lately, those are the only dragons I've been able to find, so I might not be able to, but I'm gonna go look around a bit anyway. Ah, there's one. An elder dragon, nonetheless. Oh, and that went right over the top of him. Okay, that's cool, though, because I'm pretty sure he will try to fight me, and even if he doesn't... Oh, is he gonna land? You're not that stupid, are you? Apparently he is. So there was an elder dragon. I'm pretty sure this is going to work on ancient dragons too. They don't have that much HP. Jesus, this is silly. Alright, well, I guess that kind of wraps up this enchanting video. You guys have now seen the power of stacking enchanting with potions and smithing. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed. I'm planning on doing a smithing video next. It's mainly going to be focused on leveling up smithing though, because the most important thing about smithing is what I just showed you guys in this video. And I'll probably mention it, but I'm not going to go into the depth of detail that I went in here. And then I am really looking forward to some Diablo 3 Tuesday. I'm going to try to get a friend of mine on and see if we can do some dual commentary while we're playing through Diablo 3 as a party, because I think that would be pretty amazing. So be looking forward to that, as well as any other content coming out. Maybe some StarCraft 2 sometime soon. Again, thanks everybody for watching. See you in the next episode.